Gucci walk in the damn studio, bro, with his people, to Draco's. The fucking footage is going to show Pooh Shiesty had one on him, Big 30 had one on him. Only person who really gonna escape from this is the Pops. The Pops did not want none of this to go on. Nigga like this, bro. Gucci look at the dad like, the Pops just head down. You can't tell your son nothing right now. Your son the number one right now. You gonna sign this. Sign the damn papers. And we need that. Wedding ring. Watch. Come about that.
One of rap's biggest legends, a man who built an empire from nothing, was betrayed in a recording studio by his own artist. And that's just the beginning. Pooh Shiesty's father allegedly helped orchestrate the entire scheme. Big 30 was reportedly there, controlling access to the studio. They brought a whole crew from Memphis to Dallas specifically for this operation. Afterward, they brazenly flaunted the stolen Rolex watches on Instagram. This isn't speculation. According to the Department of Justice, this was a meticulously planned setup. To understand why Pooh Shiesty allegedly targeted Gucci Mane, we need to examine everything that led to this betrayal. Stay tuned, because the federal evidence against these individuals is absolutely shocking. Let me explain why the situation is bigger than most people realize. Gucci Mane, born Roger Davis, isn't just a rapper. He's a cultural icon. He's a founding father of trap music. This man has launched more careers than almost anyone in Atlanta's history. Waka Flocka, Young Thug, Future, and Migos all credit Gucci Mane as their blueprint. He built 1017 record from nothing, survived federal prison, returned home transformed, got his life together, married, and rebuilt his entire brand into something even more powerful. That comeback story is where Pooh Shiesty enters the picture. Around 2020, Gucci Mane was strategically rebuilding 1017 records with fresh talent. He had an instinct for recognizing raw, authentic energy. When he discovered a young Memphis rapper named LaShawn Williams Jr., known as Pooh Shiesty, he immediately recognized the potential. Pooh Shiesty had been grinding independently. No label, no major backing, just pure Memphis authenticity and organic internet buzz. But it was genuine and it was spreading. Gucci saw the vision. In April 2020, Gucci Mane signed Pooh Shiesty to 1017 Records through a partnership with Atlantic Records. What happened next transformed a regular success story into something extraordinary. Within 6 months of signing, Pooh Shiesty had a top 15 record on the Billboard Hot 100. In November 2020, he released Back in Blood, featuring Lil Durk, which peaked at number 13. Then came his feature on Spodum Gotham's Beat Box 2, which hit number 12. 2 top 15 records in his debut year. Then in February 2021, he releases his debut project, Shiesty Season. It debuts at number 3 on the Billboard 200, a debut from a 20-year-old from Memphis who had zero major label support just 1 year earlier. Are we surprised Gucci wasn't willing to release this artist from his contract? Not at all. But here's another crucial part of this story. Pooh Shiesty didn't just bring himself to 1017. He also brought his cousin. Big Scar, real name Alexander Woods, was another Memphis rapper grinding in the streets. He survived a serious car accident at 16 that left permanent scars. In 2020, he was shot and seriously injured. Doctors had performed emergency surgery to save his life. This man endured tremendous hardship, and Pooh Shiesty brought his music directly to Gucci Mane. Gucci heard it and signed Big Scar immediately. Now Pooh Shiesty was elevating his cousin. His entire Memphis crew had a platform, and Gucci Mane made it all possible. But here's where things get complicated. Everything Gucci gave, he also controlled. And those contract terms? Pooh Shiesty was about to feel their weight in the worst way. While Back in Blood was dominating the charts, Pooh Shiesty began facing legal troubles right in the middle of all that success. In October 2020, he and 2 others allegedly drove to a hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, supposedly to purchase marijuana and high-end sneakers. According to federal prosecutors, instead of completing the transaction, they allegedly took the items by force and fled. Surveillance cameras reportedly captured the entire incident, including a lime green McLaren leaving the scene. Then, Memorial Day weekend 2021, he allegedly shot a security guard during an altercation at a Miami strip club. 2 serious felony cases in Florida, while he's a rising rap star. In July 2021, a federal indictment for conspiracy and firearms charges, a potential life sentence hanging over a 21-year-old rapper with 2 top 15 records. In January 2022, he accepts a plea deal, pleads guilty to 1 count, and gets sentenced to 63 months in federal prison. He enters at 22 years old, his career on hold, his fans waiting, and his 1017 contract still fully active. That's the harsh reality. He's incarcerated, can't make music, can't tour, can't earn income, and Gucci Mane still controls his masters and deal. Prison doesn't pause contracts. While Pooh Shiesty was serving his sentence, something happened that changed everything. December 22nd, 2022, Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty's cousin, the man he personally brought to 1017, who survived multiple near-death experiences to finally get his opportunity, passes away from a drug overdose at his girlfriend's home in Memphis. He was 22 years old. Pooh Shiesty is in federal prison when this happens, unable to attend the funeral or comfort his family. Then the story coming out of Memphis goes viral, and it's devastating for Gucci Mane's reputation. Big Scar's brother, Cuz Ruthless, goes live on Instagram, claiming Gucci promised to cover funeral costs but then blocked the family when they tried to confirm. He alleged Gucci said he couldn't pay because his wife's birthday was approaching. But the part that really resonated on the streets was different. Cuz also claimed that Gucci Mane requested the return of the 1017 chain, the chain he gave Big Scar when he signed. His artist had just passed away, and allegedly the priority was retrieving jewelry. Big Scar's sister Alexander confirmed this on social media, stating the chains would remain with the family. Gucci's team disputed the funeral story, with his wife posting receipts showing $20,000 paid to the funeral home, though the total cost was $60,000. But that chain conversation resonated in Memphis and in a federal prison cell where Pooh Shiesty sat with nowhere to go but think. Fast forward to October 6, 2025. Pooh Shiesty walks out of federal prison after serving over 3 years. He's 25 years old and motivated. The rap game continued without him, but his name still carries significant weight. He's placed in a residential reentry program in Dallas, Texas, with an ankle monitor and strict home detention conditions. He cannot leave without authorization, cannot possess firearms, and cannot commit any crimes. Any violation sends him back to complete his sentence plus additional time. December 2025, he releases First Day Out. It debuts at number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100, his very first song back, and it charts immediately. The fan base remained loyal. The momentum is real. But here's the critical part. Despite that chart performance and proof of his commercial viability, he's still bound by his 1017 contract. According to the DOJ allegations, Pooh Shiesty desperately wanted out of that deal. Years in prison. Feeling constrained by terms he agreed to as a teenager, watching his cousin's family experience difficulties with the label, coming home to find Gucci still controlling everything. He wanted freedom and allegedly decided to pursue it himself. According to the DOJ, this plan involved much more than just Pooh Shiesty. His own father was allegedly involved from the beginning. Lontrell Williams Sr., who founded Mob Ties Records in Memphis and brought his son into studios as a child, is accused by federal prosecutors of helping coordinate the entire operation, including allegedly renting the vehicle used by the group. Cell phone records and surveillance data show multiple defendants traveling from Memphis to Dallas in the days before January 10th. This wasn't spontaneous. It was an organized movement with coordinated travel and a crew assembled specifically for this purpose. Then there's Big 30, real name Rodney Wright Jr., Pooh Shiesty's childhood friend from Memphis. They grew up together and remained close in the industry. But Big 30 is signed to Moneybagg Yo's label, not 1017. He has no personal issues with Gucci Mane, no contract disputes, no grievances. He was allegedly there for one reason, loyalty to his friend from Memphis. You got the father coordinating logistics, Memphis crew members making the drive, Big 30 ready to participate, and Pooh Shiesty on ankle monitoring and home detention, not supposed to leave or possess weapons, preparing for what would unfold. January 10th, 2026, Dallas, Texas. Gucci Mane and two music industry professionals travel to Dallas for what they believe is a contract discussion with Pooh Shiesty. This was presented as a legitimate business meeting that Pooh Shiesty himself arranged. Gucci Mane arrives with off-duty police officers as security, professional and above board. Then, according to the DOJ, Pooh Shiesty and 8 co-conspirators allegedly execute what prosecutors call a coordinated takeover. Bro, an armed takeover. That's the exact phrase federal prosecutors used. According to the government, Pooh Shiesty pulled out an AK-style pistol, pointed it at one of the victims, and forced that person to sign away a recording contract at gunpoint. That was the entire objective. Get the papers signed, take control, and secure freedom, just allegedly at the end of a Draco, instead of through legal channels. While Pooh handled the contract, the rest of the crew reportedly moved in on the others, weapons drawn. Rolex watches were stripped, jewelry taken, cash gone, and one victim, according to DOJ, was choked to the point of nearly losing consciousness, with documented injuries to the wrist and neck. Big 30, prosecutors say, stayed at the door the entire time, physically blocking it so no one could leave, call for help, or escape, making him, under federal law, just as responsible for everything happening inside. And those off-duty police officers brought in for security? They witnessed trained law enforcement everything firsthand, turning what could have been just claims into powerful federal testimony. But it gets even more unbelievable because the feds didn't just have witnesses. They had hard evidence. The ankle monitor Pooh Shiesty was wearing placed him directly at the scene, recorded his presence and confirming he violated his home confinement. The very device meant to keep him in line became one of the strongest pieces of evidence against him. And it didn't stop there. Cell phone records and license plate reader data mapped out the crew's travel from Memphis to Dallas. Rental car documents showed Williams Sr. booked the vehicle used, while surveillance cameras captured activity at the studio, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several suspects stayed afterward. Investigators also recovered fingerprints from the scene that matched 2 of the defendants. But what truly stunned people was what happened next. Within hours of the robbery, multiple suspects were allegedly posting on social media. DeMarcus Glover posted photos of himself wearing the stolen jewelry, while Terrence Rogers uploaded a video featuring a Rolex that authorities believe belonged to the victims. It's almost unbelievable. You carry out an armed robbery tied to a major rap figure, and before the day ends, the evidence is already online. Instead of remaining discreet, records indicate that several of them boarded a Greyhound bus from Dallas to Memphis the following day. Tickets and timestamps, all documented, are now sitting as federal evidence. The entire situation sounds unreal, but according to investigators, every detail connects. Then came April 1st, 2026, the day everything collapsed. The FBI and DOJ launched coordinated raids across 3 cities. In Memphis, agents stormed the Williams family home in Cordova, taking Lantrell Williams Sr., the alleged mastermind, into custody. Pooh Shiesty was arrested in Dallas, the same city where he was supposed to complete his re-entry program, and where his ankle monitor had tracked him for months. Big 30 was arrested, along with 6 other alleged co-conspirators picked up across Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. 8 out of 9 suspects were in custody within a single day, with Terrence Rogers still at large at the time of the press conference. The charges are severe kidnapping, armed robbery, and conspiracy, and every individual involved is now facing the possibility of life in prison if convicted. Life. Pooh Shiesty had already avoided that outcome once through a plea deal in a previous firearms case. But now, at just 26 years old and only months after his release, he's staring at that possibility all over again. And at the press conference, U.S. Attorney Ryan Raybould made it clear this case, as presented by the federal government, is as serious as it gets.